Most people think building wealth is about working hard for many years, saving a little, and slowly accumulating money. They imagine a steady upward climb like a staircase. But what if I told you there is a completely different way, a principle used by self-made millionaires and billionaires to build wealth rapidly? It's called asymmetric opportunity. This idea flips the traditional view of wealth building on its head. Asymmetric opportunity means you risk very little, but you open the door to extraordinary rewards. Think about it. A small downside, but a massive potential upside. This principle is a cornerstone for those who truly understand how to build wealth quickly and effectively, not just over a lifetime, but in much shorter periods. Let's dive into what this truly means. The average person often takes what we call a symmetric approach to life and work. They exchange their time for a predictable salary. They invest in safe, low-return options. They seek stability, certainty, and small, steady gains. This feels secure, right? You put in 40 hours, you get paid X amount. You save a bit, you get a small interest return. But this symmetric path, while seemingly safe, makes you incredibly vulnerable when circumstances change. A job loss, an economic downturn, or rapid technological shifts can devastate someone relying solely on symmetric strategies. It is like having all your eggs in a basket that is easy to tip over. In stark contrast, the wealthy, especially those who build wealth from scratch, understand and embrace asymmetric risk. They are willing to accept many small failures in pursuit of rare monumental victories. They understand that fortune often favors the bold. This isn't just about being brave, it is about being strategic. They don't resist volatility or uncertainty. They understand how to use it to their advantage. This idea draws heavily from Machiavellian philosophy, which emphasizes that one must seize opportunities, even amidst chaos, and be decisive. You need to be prepared to act when the moment arises, rather than waiting for perfect conditions that may never come. Think of it this way. If you try 10 different projects and 9 of them fail, but one succeeds massively, that one success can easily outweigh all the losses from the other 9 combined. That is asymmetric. The failures are small, contained, and manageable. The success, however, is exponential. This is a fundamental mindset for anyone serious about how to build wealth beyond the conventional methods. Let's look at some clear examples of this principle in action. Imagine someone who invested a small amount, say a few $1,000s, in Amazon during its very early days. At that time, it was just an online bookstore. The risk was losing that few $1,000s. That is the limited downside. But the upside, those few thousands turned into millions, even billions for some early investors. That is an extraordinary reward. Another powerful example is Bitcoin. When it first emerged, very few people took it seriously. It was a niche digital currency, and many considered it a gamble. Someone who put a small sum into Bitcoin early on faced the risk of it going to zero, a small defined loss. But for those who held on, that small initial bet transformed into life-changing wealth. The reward was disproportionate to the risk. These are not isolated incidents, but illustrate a core principle in how people truly build wealth in an accelerated manner. The beauty of asymmetric opportunities is that they are not limited to financial investments alone. They exist in all aspects of life if you know how to spot them and are willing to act. Consider content creation. Writing a book, starting a YouTube channel, or launching a podcast might take significant effort, but the initial financial risk can be minimal. You are risking your time and some minor expenses. However, the potential reward if your content goes viral or finds a dedicated audience can be enormous, tenfold leading to passive income, brand recognition, and opening doors to countless other opportunities. That one successful piece of content can generate exponential returns. This is an asymmetric play in the creative world. Significant life decisions also present asymmetric opportunities. Moving to a new city where you know no one might feel daunting, but the financial cost might just be the moving expenses and a few months' rent. The potential upside, however, could be discovering new career paths, forming invaluable connections, or finding a much higher quality of life. The same goes for traveling to new places. The cost is defined, but the experiences, knowledge, and perspectives gained can be priceless and lead to unforeseen benefits. Even in relationships, the principle applies: putting yourself out there, meeting new people, and building genuine connections might involve small rejections or awkward moments. But the upside of finding a true partner, a lifelong friend, or a key business collaborator is immense. The risk is small. The potential reward is huge. Continuous learning is another powerful asymmetric strategy. Reading books, taking online courses, or attending seminars requires an investment of time and a relatively small amount of money. The downside is minor. You might find a book boring or a seminar unhelpful. But the upside of gaining a new skill, unlocking a new understanding, or making a crucial connection can totally transform your career and ability to build wealth. That one piece of knowledge or one connection can be the catalyst for your next big win. The urgency of adopting this principle cannot be overstated, especially in our current world. We are living through a period of rapid technological change. Automation and artificial intelligence are reshaping industries at an unprecedented pace. Traditional models of security, like having a stable job for 40 years, are quickly becoming obsolete. The old ways of slowly accumulating wealth are simply too slow and too risky in this new environment. Those who cling to symmetric, predictable paths will find themselves increasingly vulnerable to being left behind. They will be easily displaced by new technologies or changing market demands. So, what should you do? The advice is clear. You need to build what we call income machines. These are systems that generate consistent income, ideally passively or semi-passively. This could be a side business, a rental property, a diversified investment portfolio, or a high-income skill. The purpose of these income machines is to fund your asymmetric bets. They provide the capital that allows you to take those small, calculated risks without jeopardizing your basic needs. At the same time, you must continuously plant seeds. These seeds are your project, your connections, your knowledge. Every book you read, every new skill you acquire, every meaningful relationship you cultivate, every small project you start today, these are all seeds. Most of them might not sprout into massive trees, but some will, and when they do, they can create a fortress against misfortune. They create options. They create resilience. They create the bedrock for future asymmetric wins, enabling you to build wealth from multiple angles. Hesitation, in this context, is truly equivalent to defeat. The world is moving fast. Opportunities arise and disappear quickly. Waiting for the perfect moment or for complete certainty means missing out on the very chances that could transform your life. You must be willing to act, to experiment, and to embrace the unknown. Remember, you are only risking a small defined amount. One decisive triumph, one massive asymmetric win can alter everything. It can cover all your small failures, provide a foundation for future growth, and fundamentally change your financial trajectory. Understanding and applying the principle of asymmetric opportunity is not just a strategy for building wealth. It is a new way of approaching life itself, equipping you to thrive in a world of constant change. Embrace it and unlock your potential to truly build wealth beyond your wildest dreams.